Happy Wednesday, guys. It is May the 6th, 2020. One of the most disappointing things, I think, aside from not getting to see you guys every day anymore, is that we didn't get to do some of the really fun units that I enjoy the most. And one of those units is all about space. I love talking about and learning about space. Planets, the stars, the moon, and most of all, the sun. Today I'm going to read you a story. The title is called The Sun is Kind of a Big Deal. So we're going to be learning a little bit about the sun today, as well as some of the other planets in our solar system. So up in space, up in the sky. So let's all put our astronaut helmets on, tighten them up, and make sure we're ready to blast off into space to do some learning. All right, so here is a picture of our solar system. We have the sun right here in the middle, and then moving out, we have all of our planets. And look at the sun wearing sunglasses. How silly is that? All of the planets and the sun, oops, my book's not wanting to turn. There we go. All of the planets and the sun live together in the solar system like a big family. The sun is our solar system's very own star. Seriously, the sun is an actual star. It's the only star in our solar system, and it sits right in the center, holding everything together. So here's the sun, and then outside of the sun, we see Mercury, Venus, Earth, that's where we live, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. Kind of move a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. The sun is the biggest thing in our solar system. It's even bigger than Earth. Way bigger. Way bigger. Like over 1,000,000 times bigger. There are much bigger stars than the sun, but all of the other stars you see are really far away. Really. The other stars are in totally different solar systems and have their own planets. Earth, that's where we live, is the third planet away from the sun. Remember Earth? It's that little planet where you and everyone you know live. Pluto, itty tiny Pluto down here, used to be a planet, but scientists decided it didn't quite fit the definition. So now it is called a dwarf planet. The planets move around the sun like a big racetrack in space. Each planet has its own special path and it follows. It's called orbit. Some planets are faster than others, but each one stays in its lane. It takes a whole year for Earth to go all around the sun. Do you know how many times you have been around the sun? Well, let's see. I am 36 years old, which means I've made 36 trips around the sun. How old are you? That's how many trips you've made around the sun. The sun never stops working. It does a ton of important jobs for Earth. In fact, we wouldn't be around without the sun. The sun gives us light so we can see, but it takes about 8 minutes for light to get to us because the sun is so far away. Imagine turning on your light switch and it taking 8 minutes for the light to come on. Earth spins around in a full circle every day. That is why when it's nighttime for you, it's daytime on the other side of the world. How crazy is that? So this morning, it's daytime for you, but on the whole other side of the earth, everybody else is going to bed. The sun is always there, even when you can't see it. Sometimes it looks dark outside during the day because the sun is behind the clouds, but it is still there. Once in a while, it gets dark in the daytime because the moon gets in the sun's way. That's called a solar eclipse, and it only lasts for a little while. Keeping us warm is another really important part of the sun's job. The sun is hotter than you can imagine, way hotter than fire. Its temperature reaches millions of degrees at the center. Some places on Earth are warmer than others. The parts of the Earth that are closest to the equator, so right in the middle, right there, are the warmest. The parts of the Earth that are farthest away, like the North and the South Pole, are the coldest. So that's why Santa and his reindeers always have snow. So now we know it's colder near the poles of Earth and warmer near the equator. But why? Well, the parts of Earth near the equator are getting the sun's heat straight on. Look, straight here. The North and South poles are getting the same amount of sunlight, but it gets spread out over a bigger area. Since these places have to share the sun's heat, they don't get as warm. They don't get quite as warm. While Earth is moving around the sun, it is spinning at a tilt. And that's why we have seasons. There are 4 seasons, remember? Let's do it. Fall is when the leaves fall down, and winter's when it's cold. Spring is when the flowers bloom, and summer's when it's hot. Because of Earth's tilt, the top half and the bottom half of the world experience the seasons at different times. When the bottom half of the Earth is tilted toward the sun, it is summer there. This also means that the top half is tilted away from the sun, which makes it winter. So when it's winter and snowy here, because we're up on top, it's summertime down below. The sun's work isn't done yet. Every day, the sun also has an important job in the water cycle. Wow, the sun does a lot. Heat from the sun causes water to mix with the air, turning it into vapor. That's called evaporation. Then the vapor gathers together to make clouds, and that's called condensation. Finally, the water comes back down as the rain or the snow, and that's called precipitation. And the sun's responsible for all of that. The water cycle is important for all living things, but especially for plants. Plants need water and sunlight for photosynthesis. That's a big word, but it's also a really, really big job. Photosynthesis is when a plant uses light from the sun, water from the water cycle, and carbon dioxide from the air to make food for energy to help it grow. During photosynthesis, the plants make oxygen. That's what animals and people need to breathe. Take a deep breath. You just breathed in a lot of oxygen. Oxygen doesn't have any taste, but it's always there, and we can't live without it. If the sun wasn't helping out with photosynthesis, we wouldn't have oxygen. The sun is pretty great. It's always around, keeping the whole solar system together. It gives us light, it keeps us warm, it helps bring us rain and grow plants to produce the oxygen we breathe. It's such a big part of our lives that we wouldn't be able to live without it. The sun works really hard to help us out, and that's kind of a big deal. So did you know that the sun did all those things? That is super amazing. I'll see you guys back here tomorrow. Enjoy your day.